Winners of the Premier League are Barcelona. Now, just picture that for a brief second, because according to Barcelona's president, if it so happens that Catalonia gains independence, Barcelona could potentially play in the English Premier League. And of course, who else is voicing their concern about this than Arsene Wenger? Because he already has enough trouble trying to beat, Leicester and Tottenham and everyone else. So you throw Barcelona into that mix, he's bound to be a little bit concerned. Now, this does have some substance to it. As you know, basically what's happened across in Barcelona and specifically across Spain is that Barcelona are currently taking part in the region's general strike following a vote by its public to become independent that produced 90% result in favour. And if you've seen, I'm not going to get into it too much politically because I don't like to discuss politics that much. But regardless, I want to focus on the aspect of Barcelona potentially competing in another league. Now, Barcelona's president didn't say that it was just the Premier League they were looking at. There's possibilities that they may play in Italy, that they may play in France. Now, imagine that. Neymar leaving Barcelona to go and play at PSG, and then Barcelona come into that territory, make it just a little bit more difficult for Neymar at his new club. But the interesting prospect is clearly the Premier League, because just think about it for a second. Lionel Messi would finally be able to prove to everyone that he probably could run right in the Premier League because his team would have to go there and play, not because he made the transfer. But an interesting point that Arsene Wenger made that I'm actually all for is that he said invite the old firm to the Premier League before Barcelona. With you there, Arsene. It's the first thing I think I've ever agreed upon. You and I can sit down and dine out on how I think Celtic and Rangers should play in the Premier League. Also, I don't think it'll ever happen. I think it would be bad for Scottish football if it did happen, and I would hate to see it come to that. But I just don't think the Scottish Premier League could thrive without Celtic or Rangers. No one really with a sane level of knowledge on football could deny that. But I would love Celtic to go there and prove that, give them a couple of seasons, the amount of money and the size of the club. It would be an interesting dynamic to see where Celtic would finish. That other team, I don't know so much. But regardless of that, what Arsene Wenger's further reasoning was on this side is he said, if Barcelona want to join the Premier League, it makes things even more difficult for everybody. He went on to say, I don't think they've gotten as far as that. It's interesting there will be instance on the sporting side as Barcelona are a highly political club. I think it'll be interesting to see how they respond in the Championship. Arsene's trying to get Barcelona put in the Championship so that he doesn't need to compete with another team that probably most of his players will leave and go to try and go on and win trophies. And he finalised, we have enough clubs here with 20, but if you want to go up to 24, we have to invite Scottish clubs before we go to Spanish. I agree with you there, Arsene. I'm with you on that. But it is an interesting prospect. How would Barcelona favour? I'm just going to pose it to you guys in the audience. Where do you think they would finish in the Premier League? Where do you think they'd finish in Ligue 1?